Okay, so we have selected this photograph, though it's a very cliched photograph, but it's also India's most recognized monument, the Taj, as we all know, and we all know about its beauty, and we also exactly what it is and how it also helps in the structure of the building is something we'd like to show you. So what are the materials? Hello?
Yes, madam.
It's okay? Okay. Okay. What are the materials? We'd like to go into the details as to what are the materials that are used in the making of the Taj. So there's lime, as you can see, but lime not as we know lime today, which is a factory, mostly factory made. But this was made on site with bone, bale fruit water, fine surki, and coarse sand. These were all mixed and churned for many months to bring the consistency and the shine. That and then it was applied over and polished walls, the very beautiful walls in the central hall and the half octagon. And you will see how intricately they have been carved. The stone has been carved, and how many patterns and links and circles of the walls, or the curved part of the curved ceiling, and it's called a diamond cut. And maybe you can see the red. The red sections that have been marked in red. This is where these are. So, and the mosques have walls of the mosque and the Mehman Khana, and this is a special technique of coating of red plaster is applied over the white one, and then the top coat is cut away to expose the desired design in the white layer underneath. So this is not really painting, This is more like a carving. You apply two coats, and then you scrape one in a pattern to expose the one that is under it. And of course, there's much stonework. There's the jali, there's high relief stone carving, then there are the columns, which being a traditional building crafts also are necessary for the building for its structural stability and its strength. And then there's wall ornament designs, and then there's different, very beautiful, actually people forget to notice the flooring, chameli flooring. This is a bit technical as to how the building was built and the bonding between the stone elements. Okay, now we've also shown you the modern flooring in the southern side, and this was then carefully removed to find out the nature of the original flooring in 2004 and 5, which brought to light the brick on edge flooring all over. Actually, this is a very favorite flooring of mine. It's very practical, it's very sturdy. It's very easy to do, and it has a nice pattern. So, and then of course, everybody knows about the inlay work and the vitradura of marble, which is the Taj is covered in it. And these are what we have, what people have researched. These are besides the semi-precious stones, all the natural material that was available on and in and around Agra has been used. So sugar cane, honey, lemon juice, marble dust. You see, they collected so much marble dust in the building while they were building it, when they were cutting the stones. And this was a very good economical way of using this. So, and this is also this kind of lime plastering and other treatment surfaces. It is still so effective against termite. The Taj has no termite. It just hasn't had any termite. So these were all traditional knowledge-based skills. It was not just to decorate, it was also to protect the building. This is a vast, knowledge that still craft people have. Only thing is we don't tap it. What we are going to do mostly is cement use kar lo, because it's very strong. But they don't realize that cement and stone don't go together. In fact, it's the worst thing that you could do. And every government building and every private building, it's become so hot. You can't sit, you need air conditioning. All our traditional buildings, no need. I go to Jaisalmer all the time, even in May and June. I sit in a haveli or a small part of a small home. There's just no need for anything. So there's a major range of craft people involved. If you, I mean, you can see that. I can read it out also. And they have traditional names, and they have the respect accorded to them. Like these days, we have junior engineer, senior engineer, project in charge. All these people had their place in society, place on site. They were given the respect, and we are losing this. We are just think of them as labor now mostly. Okay, some is semi-trained labor, otherwise it's trained labor. That's it. So we've forgotten that what actually they are. None of us had engineers and architects when all these buildings were built. They were all built by these people. I'll go to my next slide. So what are the indicators that a layman would look while defining traditional architecture or building crafts? So does it have vernacular architecture? Is it local climate responsive material? Does it have any traditional ornamental and detailing? Does it have a heritage value? Does it have a cultural significance? Does it have a religious significance? All these things. Only then would you say it's a building that is a traditional building architecture. This is a slide just to show you the vast plethora of heritage buildings and styles and techniques that we have all over India being lost. Now, I believe in some, I wouldn't like to name, but I believe that even some very, very expert agencies and bodies are using cast cement blocks instead of stone carved blocks where they are repairing. They're using artificial color, thinking that that's making it brighter. We are losing the knowledge that if we use these chemical paints, we are actually corroding the stone and we are actually ruining the building. Anyway, what we do have still is this amazing repertoire of stone carvers, wood carvers, masons. They work, some people call them, some temples call them, but they are not getting any major works. During the times, not that they were best times for all of us, but during the pre-independence, we had major patrons in the Maharajas or the nobility who gave work to thousands of craft people. However, let's go to this slide. I mean, this is a marvel. And this is one marvel which everybody knows in Gujarat. But stepwells all over India, in places like Haryana, everywhere. I mean, if the architecture itself is to be admired, the way they stored water, we are talking all the time, this time of, natural resources and all preserving. But these people, we all did it. It was part of our life. We never wasted a drop of water. These are decorative, of course, very beautiful, but a whole range of architectural crafts that you can see around you. And, so these old doors and everything, now it's not just that the doors are carved for beauty, but these studs that are put in, these studs are put in so that the door becomes heavy and it's not opened easily. It becomes a security measure also. It's beautification is one thing, but the whole technique in making, carving, and installing this door, it's actually another story. It's not just beauty. Arish, we are trying to revive, and some people have started using Arish. It's you don't need a marble facade. An Arish facade works as well, and this is stucco in lime. This is not stonework. This is actually then red oxide flooring. It's basically done in the south and in Goa, and it was done, with the local material available there, including coconut husk, things that bound it together. But this craft, this tradition of building crafts is actually, I was trying to find for some specific project five craftspeople who could do original, authentic red oxide flooring. I couldn't find them 10 years back. Then there has been some training, and we have got some now. Tile making, metal work, wrought iron, hatching. Actually, I did this this is a family property of mine in Husharpur in Punjab, and every year I remember growing up, our place that we have, and the village women and men would come and they would thatch, and they would also apply gobar and lime. Of course, inside now it's all changed, and because it got all changed, and I was telling my, because they put the modern flooring and they didn't, you can't treat this and this. Now we have to, after every 5 years, we have to find some people who can come and do this thatching. And this bangla, I grew up here, and in the heat of the Punjab summer, no fans, nothing. We slept under it, we played under it. There was nothing, we didn't need anything. You take these pots, ghadas, and you place them ulta, and then you lime a coat of lime, and they keep the building very, very cool, very cool. This I have shown you already, but these crafts came to us from Persia. And then lime frescoes all over the palaces you see, and even in some homes, and the havelis, the Shekhawati havelis are full of these beautiful paintings done over lime plastering. Stained glass, actually, I don't think is a traditional, coming down the ages, but we adopted it when the Mughals came. We adopted so many traditions, building traditions. This is one. This, I mean, it has a certain beauty. It also has kind of privacy. It brings privacy and light into a. I'll now talk about some case studies where we worked extensively. Chanderi, as you know, in Madhya Pradesh, and Chanderi is actually very famous for its fabric, for the Chanderi fabric. But Chanderi has a very well preserved vernacular architecture tradition of the homes of the weavers, and they are built in a certain manner, and so are many weaver homes across India, but most of them have been destroyed, and sometimes even our governments have helped to do that, because they have for weavers where they go and weave like a 9-to-5 job. So they've stopped weaving in their homes, and this has had such a major impact on the social fabric of the people. Anyway, this Chanderi we did a lot of work, and we benefited 200 weavers. And not only so when we realized that the weavers' home was suffering and people wanted to, and it's aspirational, and it's just perfectly understandable to have aspirations. And why would anybody want to live in a kacha home when they can see the rest of the people living in a cement home? But we did something. I'm going to show you what we did. So we identified the broad weaving clusters within a town, and then we also identified the traditional microclusters within these, and we determined the key features of the traditional vernacular architecture. And then It was a difficult process. It always is, as you can understand. We had to try and convince them that no, just go back. We will spend money and we will make their homes some things that they can live in that are aspirational, will this thing their modern needs, but will also give them all the advantages that their traditional homes had. So then we did a documentation, and we managed to actually in the beginning convince only two householders, two weavers out of 40 that we had identified, who said, okay, we give you our homes and you can work on those. So this was how we went about it. We handheld them. Now, what were the major issues? So in their traditional homes, we identified that there was water leakage, there was dampness, inadequate space since the increase in family members, extreme temperature variation. I think temperature variations have also come out more because of now the environment and all that. Then also this non-availability of the materials. Their local Maya wood was not available. Then now all craftspeople, weavers are being managed by middlemen and very low wages, so they have no way of improving their homes. And of course, this is prevailing all over India, and it prevails not only, I would say, in this class, but even among it's stronger. It will last more than a kacha house or even a house made with stone. So, and it is expensive to maintain. So these perceptions, this is just the clusters that we had identified, and we identified where all there is modern, where there's modern vernacular, and where the clusters that are totally traditional. And of course, as you can understand, the totally traditional clusters were the poorest people, the poorest viewers. So this is a typology of a weaver's home in Chanderi. Okay, so because they weave saris, so they need that span. So even the humblest home had that span, that space inside it to be able to weave saris and sit on both ends. And these are so broken pottery, the wood mire, support for the loom, the wood for the loom, all this is needed, how to weight it, and the stones that provide the outer space. This is how it flows, the air, the ventilation. And they have special needs, weavers, so they start weaving at a particular time of the day, and the sunlight should come that cloth. And they are made
Madam, we are facing lot of
it's not how the sunlight is going. That's it. It's not going to move. There should be no. Sorry.
We are facing lot of noise, sound breakage from your side. We were not able to hear. It was lot of breakage.
Oh.
Lot of.
Sorry.
I think you have an internet issue at your side.
Maybe there's a problem with the internet which is coming and going. I'll come closer to the speaker. Is that better?
Yes, you can try. We can try.
Okay, I'm coming very close to my laptop. Yeah, so that at least we can. Is that better?
Yes, madam, it is better now.
Okay, thank you. Shall I continue then?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But you could see my diagrams and get the gist of it, I hope.
Yes, the slides are visible.
Oh, I'm so
Right.
sorry. Anyway, tomorrow. Let's go on to the next slide. So I was telling you, there's a regular airflow and temperature control in these buildings, which is most needed when you're working with threads, especially silk. You need a very good humidity control, and the fine twisted yarn is because it tends to break easily, and temperature differences can affect the tension of the yarn on the loom, providing uneven. So these homes have all been built with that in mind. But our Pakka homes that are being built by the government don't take these things into consideration. They're all standardized forms of building, right? So, and then also this flow, as you can see, of air, and the locally quarried chinkari stone that which keeps extreme heat and cold at bay. And over these white stone exterior, they apply a lime wash. And that is very, very important because then the reflection of the sun, the light. And the wooden truss roof constructed with wooden beams overlaid with small twigs and thatch. And then on top are the stone slabs or pattis, pattur they are called. And there's a beautiful facilitation of airflow and breathing and light in these homes. Very simple, very, very like juggies you would call them, really. This is the interior. And you can see the damage. You can see, but you can also see, the slats for the ventilation, the very large windows, opposite sides, and the long span to be able to weave a sari, which is 5.5 meters, but they need half a meter here and half a meter there at least for the weavers to sit. And then, of course, soft floors are very, very important for this because there's a movement of the loom, and it's that movement that creates the weave, helps in creating that weave. Now, very hard pakka stone, the loom doesn't move properly, and it takes double the effort for the weaver. Okay, then there's setting up of pit looms and posts that are required, then handling small delicate pieces of loom accessories, and of course against bugs and termite, which can ruin organic yarn, as you know. So this lime coating, lime plaster, soft floors, it's all a very, very good way to keep these bugs away and the termite away. And then it's not just about the home, it's also they go outside, when they measure their yarn, when they dye their yarn. It's all a community activity, and women are involved, and then they have traditional songs, and that's why courtyards are very important. And they have these long narrow cobbled lanes where they all stand and do all these things. All that is going when we are building them these blocks of apartments, when we are building these new modern architecture apartments, and then they go to karkhanas to weave. Anyway, this is what is happening all over India, mostly. So we took up these homes, and then we started. One of our main things in restoring, reusing, or repurposing old buildings is that we try and use 70% of the old material available. So we have a very, very, and that's also a craft and an art to be able to sort out this reusable material and to keep the things that we need and then reuse them. And even in these homes, the two homes that we 60 to 70% of these broken homes, we were able to reuse this material. I'll show you two homes. And this is the process in which, okay, so now they wanted a pakka floor. Anyway, we found this, we said, okay, pakka floor, but with the stone that is available, because that's a breathable soft stone. So we use these for our tiling. Then we again did the wooden layout, and we used the stone slabs instead of thatching. We did try and incorporate some aspirational objectives, but we did use at the bottom, under that we did use the reeds to cover the truss. And then we involved the women to make the mud plaster, and then we did the mud plastering also, and on the floors as well as on the walls. And so this is it, before and after. And we gave them small, I'll talk to you. This is before one, and this is after. And you can see that the roof looks traditional and has some of those qualities also. However, it will not leak anymore. And then these alas or shelves that they require for their small tools or their household, we made those properly.
Ma'am, you have not shared your PPT.
Ji?
Ma'am, please share your PPT. Please again present now.
Uh, the PPT is visible. The PPT is visible. Please check at your end.
Yeah, it's visible at our end.
Yes, madam.
Shall
You
we,
can.
let me redo it.
Please,
Okay, now
Please.
I'll show you the slides again. Okay?
Ma'am, it's visible.
I think one slide may not have been, but
one participant is not able to see. Rest everyone is able to see.
so Vikas, my colleague, is saying only one participant cannot see, the rest have been able to see. Anyway, what I'm going to do, Dr. Vinayak, I will share this with you later.
Okay, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, don't worry about it. And anybody, can contact us anytime. Okay, so I just want to go through, because I think we have to get over and I have lots to show you. So I should quickly go through these things. These are before and after restoration. After these two weavers got what they got, we then got many requests, but of course we don't have the money to make all the homes now, because we did it out of our own. Okay, and then I wanted to tell you that we also made toilets for them, shared toilets. And these homes have these, we found that the same patterns in their decoration as they make in their saris. So the famous booties and all that, even the most humble homes, they have these very beautiful gateways or something where they have the carving of the traditional sari weaving techniques also. Okay, now Jaisalmer has been a very, very long, 20 years we have worked in Jaisalmer. And it's a very, very long, I think, presentation. So I won't talk much, because then we want to show you a film also. And I'll very quickly go through this. And as I said, you can always contact me if you need further information. So this is all that we did. I will quickly go through this, because once I get involved in my talk, I also forget time. Okay, so Jaisalmer Fort, many of you may have been. It had many problems. It was actually it's still maybe on the verge of collapsing, and the problem is modern. The problem is not old. It's not because how the buildings were built. Now every household in Jaisalmer has water on call, tap water. Of course, a need, but then there's no systems for the drainage. So they get free water and lots of water, and many of these homes are now guest houses, and the water just goes down into the hill, and it's damaging these buildings, beautiful palaces, collapsing bastions. So actually the number of licensed hotels may be 7 or 8, but out of the number of residences, now there are more than 384, there are 425 or something. I think about 380 of them are hotels. Anyway, we took these many projects and we have worked extensively to restore the Jaisalmer fort. This is Rani Ka Mahal, before and after, using traditional building crafts and techniques only. No cement, using people from there, training them both to make cement, to do the wood carving. That technique is still there and quite high, I have to say, but still. We also strongly feel that unless our work, architectural restoration works, helps the community, it is of no significance. And it should be sustainable and it should be long term. It shouldn't be that we are doing a project and when we leave, it's all back and nobody benefits. So these many things we did. We also did the Hawa Prole, through which everyone enters with the main square, and it's 3 meters, and it's very crucial for that you can see the cracks, water, you can see the watermarks, you can see how that was damaging, and it still is, because that was not something India can do, that is a government thing. Many schemes have been made, and much money has been spent. Let's hope it will work. To the building crafts that have gone to make it both structurally and ornamentation. Significance of a jali, a huge significance, and today I think even more. Now that me and Vikas are sitting, we've opened 2 or 3 windows. Vikas, just open a little bit of the door. I'm talking without a mask. Actually, I should wear a mask. The jali, not only is it beautiful, look at the light it provides, the wind, the ventilation, and the privacy. It was damaged during the 2001 earthquake, before and after work done by us. And these very quickly, what all we did. Another mahal, quickly. All these elements that we found on site being reused, have been reused, replicated, restored, reused. This Modi, was traditionally a park for the security, for the guards and all to go around. It became an open toilet. Open toilet, open garbage dump. Because they didn't have toilets, we provided before the Swachh Bharat program came into being. In 2001, we gave 250 toilets to every household in the fort. So much so, I was called to toilet didi, and people used to come to me and say कि आप ये 20-25 हज़ार खर्च रहे हैं. People used to say आप हमें दे दीजिए. Somebody would say एक नया रूम बना दीजिए. Somebody would say हमें तो अंदर नहीं जाना है, हमको तो बाहर ही जाना है. But we persevered, and what I always felt was that okay, these older people may not change their habits, but the young people will, and that's what has happened. Now nobody goes, hardly anybody goes to this. They all use their toilets. Small toilets we gave, but yeah. They have this beautiful stone carving tradition. It's beautiful as anywhere, or even more. It's Jaisalmer, parts of it is like an open museum. So we wanted to help these craftspeople, these stone carvers. So we got government funding and we set up a common facility center, which is being used till day by more than 200 craftspeople. So this is the impact that we have had. We did listing of all the heritage buildings, and we are going to now show you a short film. on Jaisalmer. बाकी mute करती हूँ. Sound.
We cannot hear anything. Is there any sound associated with this document? Even I am waiting for them to respond. Their participants.
I know, I know. Hmm? We are going to try and fix the sound. We are obviously not very techno savvy here. Vikas will go and bring them. When we checked it, it was fine.
Can we hear
Yes,
now?
it is now. We can
Now,
hear it.
Yes, ma'am.
oh, perfect.
Ma'am, only the voice has to be increased.
Volume has to be increased.
The story of Jaisalmer is an intricate and intriguing web of fact and legend, of truth and lore, and many a time it is impossible to clearly separate the two. It pulls at your heartstrings, beckons you, seduces you, making you want to go there again and again. The gold-buff sandstone of Jaisalmer is widely used for all construction work inside the fort, as well as in the city. From the majestic palaces, mansions, and temples to the humble abodes, each one stands out as a unique piece of art, awash with a patina of history and tradition. The entire city is like a sculpture in the golden yellow stone that emerges out of the landscape. Its dark contours bathed with an air of romance. The stone is sown from the general stone mines of Chetrai, Simla, and Mulsagar, all in the vicinity of Jaisalmer. Mining the stone is a laborious process requiring both skill and strength. A row of holes is drilled and iron wedges struck into it till the block breaks down along the lines of weaving.
कस्टम मशीन जो देता है होता है साइज वाइज कटिंग कर लेते कौन सी हमें कितनी थिक चाहिए कटने के बाद वो मैसेज पे आता है ड्राइंग करने
true beauty of Jaisalmer lies in the richness of its stone carvings and ornamentation, exhibiting a plethora of floral patterns intermingled with innumerable geometric motifs. This creative precision brings a nuance in the drab environs of the desert city. The exquisitely carved facades and intricately patterned screens serve to diffuse the harsh desert sunlight while allowing fresh air to enter. They also enable women of the household to observe the happenings of the street unobtrusively. The abundance of the stone and skilled craftsmanship in Jaisalmer allows extensive use of carved stone to be used in construction, even today. In spite of the slow but steady intrusion of modern values, Jaisalmer has clung tenaciously to its traditions and customs. This is the strength of Jaisalmer, where a unique bonding of the new with the old may be witnessed, where the past is not only the past, but also the present. Jaisalmer truly remains a mystery in stone and sand that is teased by the spirits of the past. Although artisans have a strong urge to carve their own market niche, the major constraints in their development are lack of new design methods, poor exposure to market demand, and ineffective infrastructure at the grassroots level. Sensing a need for intervention, Intac established the Common Facilities Center in the nearby village of Ramkunda with assistance from the Development Commissioner, Handicrafts, Government of India.
हमारे पूर्व तो शुरू से मंत्री साहब गुजरात का ही काम करते थे, लेकिन उसके बाद में हमारी क्या कुछ गरीबी रेखा नीचे थे, उसकी वजह से स्कूल को 8वीं क्लास पास करके छोड़ना पड़ा। मेरी पत्थर की काम करने पड़ते मेरे को लगभग 18 साल की उम्र से लेकर काम कर रहा हूँ, 12 साल हो गए। उसके बाद मेरे ऊपर पत्थर का काम मैं तो मैं खुदाई का बारी कामी का काम करता था। उसके बाद जो काम छोड़ दिया मशीन देखी चलती तो लगा मेरे को ये काम कुछ अच्छा है। तो एक बार इंटेक वाले कुछ आए थे यहाँ पर, उनको कुछ सामान चाहिए थे, उन्होंने देखा तो उन्होंने बोला यहाँ पर वर्कशॉप लगा दे तो कैसा रहेगा। फिर उन्होंने यहाँ पर वर्कशॉप लगा के दिया, हमें सेट बोर्ड के दिया और उसके ऊपर काफी मशीनें लगा कर दी और हमें इसमें अच्छा सहयोग मिला है। आज भी हम इसमें घर बैठे अच्छी मजदूरी कर रहे हैं, पैसे कमा रहे हैं और काम अच्छा हमारा चल रहा है। ये सब इंटेक संस्था की वजह से कुछ हुआ है, वरना इतनी तरक्की नहीं कर पाते।
This stone workshop is equipped with hand-operated machine tools that increase the efficiency of the art. The use of lathe machines has revealed the stone's hitherto unexploited, rich, deep texture and enlarged the range of products. The facility is used and operated by artisans of various abilities. With Intac's design interventions, a new range of utility products has been developed. The artisans of Jaisalmer play with simple forms and aesthetic shapes to create a symphony in stone, the Golden Symphony.
मेरा नाम साबिर अली है, मैं यही का रहने वाला हूँ। 92 से यहीं पे काम कर रहा हूँ। रानी के महल के बाद 2001 में हासिल गया पूरे हिंदुस्तान में। उसमें हवा बोल है जो ये करके हाफ रोड का काम मैंने ही एक साल में पूरा फॉर्म किया फाउंडेशन से उसको वापस
The Jaisalmer fort, more than 8 centuries old, was in a state of decay, and many of its beautiful palaces had collapsed, causing extensive damage to the entire architectural fabric of Jaisalmer fort. A major conservation initiative by Intact be used for various cultural, educational, and philanthropic activities to make them living monuments. Further, Intact's interventions are focused on improving living conditions of the people. Lime mortars, bricks, or mud. Prior to the development of concrete, lime mortar was used to construct some of the world's most renowned buildings. The soft, porous properties of lime mortar provide several advantages when working with softer building materials such as natural stone or terracotta. Preparing and using lime mortars is a specialized skill. The lime is extracted from limestone using an ancient technology. Limestone is extracted from mines and burned into kiln at very high temperature to produce quicklime. Water is added to the quicklime in a process termed slaking, where it produces hydrated lime, scientifically known as calcium hydroxide. Hydrated lime is then processed with traditional herbal extracts such as jaggery, resin gum, fenugreek, etc., and left for several weeks to gain a basic working strength. The addition of herbs increases in the transfers, tensile, and compressive strength. Lime finishes are beautiful as well, contributing to a healthy living environment. It allows the buildings to breathe and provides a comfortable environment. Lime can also be used for the graceful softness apparent in lime plasters is ideal for mural painting because lime is unique in its purity and process. It allows for completely different color applications, not possible with any other type of render. The most outstanding feature is not only the color, but the depth of it. Crafts that have attempted to negate the vast austerity of its satin shrines by using vivid colors. Spinning of wool yarn, wool weaving, tile leather crafts, embroidery, intricate silver jewelry, and of course, vibrant music that is essential in expression of a nomadic lifestyle.
I hope you enjoyed the
Yes, madam.
film. Ji? I hope you like the film.
Yes, yes, it was very good.
Okay. Yeah. We'll start with another case study in Bhopal. Uh, Historical. Yes. Okay. So constructed by the famous Bhopal Begums of Bhopal in 1819, and this was restored, and it's now being used as a craft center, and especially to showcase the local crafts and cuisine of that region. And these were the project highlights. Again, we only use local building techniques, and we would this talk especially to emphasize to all you young people and people in the field that really when you do your projects and you take up, whether it's in government bodies or individually in organizations, do always remember our traditional building crafts and techniques. This is a map. I think we have only 15 minutes, so I'll quickly go through this. This is before and after. So the kitchen, and of course local crafts and people, we are used, and we do a lot of training. While we are doing on-site work, we are doing a lot of training. We emphasize on training the local people. And of course, architects, young architects, interested people, engineers, anybody. We have a whole division called the Intact Heritage Academy, and we do our courses. Inauguration. It's now vibrant. Well, these days must be closed, but. And then just to give you a range that we also work in Ladakh, all over India, and with the same philosophy. Very beautiful area of India again. We did the Mangyu monastery, and we don't have any money of our own, so we are actually we get funding from many times now from the government as well. The beautiful mandalas. Chortans, very important to that region. Women were very, very keen volunteers in this, and several village youth. And the very good thing is that they are carrying on, they have started small businesses of their own. And they now go all over Ladakh with their the skills that they acquired during our training. And they're making, and they're very, very, the people there, like I guess in Bhutan, but this is on their own, no rule or regulation or law. But they want to keep to their traditional building traditions in the region. Community participation is very important. This was one place in Ladakh where the local king also picks up the rubble, also picks up the wood and helps when there's work going on. No distinction like that. It's a very amazing situation in this region of our country. This is before. This is the women working. Traditionally, they never worked, but with our kind of training, and they got interested, and they said, we also want to do this. Local youth, after restoration. Small initiative, but good impact. Social and financial, economic impact is good. Environment, of course, is very good. Okay, I think we are running out of time, but this is a very, very important aspect of our work, in which we are making the directory of the traditional building crafts of India. The first ever. And we have a long range of building crafts where I hope our list is here.
We showed in the starting.
Yeah, but okay, anyway, we can send it to you. And this directory is already available actually online, and for anybody who would like this kind of knowledge and to know, please. And we also list all the craftspeople. We give their telephone numbers, contact details, so that anybody who wants to use their skills can contact them directly. Intac has no commercial interest in any of this or in any work that we do. These have already been published. They are with us in physical copies. You can even go to Amazon and buy them. And more, many more are in the. This pandemic slowed our work a little bit, but the work which links directly. We also go back not only to the materials but the history, whether the craft is indigenous, whether it came from some traveler or some for the Mughals or whoever, Persian, Turkish, where the craft came, how it's evolved over the time, the Sultanate period, early Mughal brick buildings, and then British period, post-independence. You all, maybe some of you know of Laurie Baker and the buildings that were done in that time, just post-independence. And then, of course, the tools, the regions, and then this is in Saurashtra. So everything, like I said, cultural context, material tool, processes, artisans, everything is documented and it's put in the public domain. And the more you go, I mean, we are doing like state-wise, then you can go to the city level, you can go to the village level. We are so blessed to have all this in our country. Metal embossing, another building crafts. Sorry, it's got stuck like this. And just quickly, these are just processes that have been documented. Oh, sorry, it seems to have. Okay, we can till this set. If there are any questions, should I take the questions now?